Can you turn this on? Can you hear me? Yes. Let's jump back in from where we left off. It's going to be a little tough from here on. Okay, let's just draw the landscape, okay? About for 4,000 years. Sure. 100 billion, sir. मैंने नहीं कहा, अमेरिका ने कहा. 80 साल. अभी बताता हूँ. हम अभी तक जो भी कर रहे हैं वो यही कर रहे हैं कि मतलब मुझे इनसे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अल्लाह हाफिज़. किन से? ये जो पैसे इकट्ठे कर रहे हैं, ये जो भी हम जब भी यहूदियों से नहीं, ये मतलब हेल्प करने के लिए हम जब भी किसी की हेल्प करना चाहते हैं, ये जो आप ये ओके, हम जब भी किसी की हेल्प करना चाहते हैं, गजा की या किसी की भी, तो हम पैसे इकट्ठे करना शुरू कर देते हैं. हम जितने भी पैसे इकट्ठे कर लें, अगर कल किसी ने किसी भी मुसलमान मुल्क पे बम मारना है ना, तो ये पैसे उसे रोक नहीं सकते. हम एम्बुलेंस लेकर पहुंच जाएंगे. ये बताता हूँ कैसे रोकना, बताता हूँ. कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं आज तक. आ रहा है. That's why I'm here. Good question. See, the problem is very simple. For many thousands of years, Adam alayhi salam started the game of knowledge, and then we all played it in one way, very simple way, books. That was the only way to understand knowledge. You guys, thank you, Rahil. Thanks for the iron brew, eh? Can I come out of Scotland? Now, you need to understand the landscape. I'm going to be a little brutal now, okay? You can turn the cameras off. I really need to tell you a lot of things which are going to rile you up a little bit, and I need to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not here to polish your egos. I'm not here to paint a false picture. I know what self-esteem is. We need to admit that the stick is broken. Unless we admit it, you're not going to be able to fix it. Now, there are two kinds of problems. First and foremost, your kids are on YouTube. Your kids are on Instagram and social media, and the kind of content that they're consuming right now, Imam Ghazali could not, even if he had 3 lifetimes worth of effort, he could not consume that sort of content. And you're against YouTube. You're pumping books in front of and making sure they go to school and libraries. They're not going to go get real knowledge there. Even though it is there, they're not going to do, because most of their 24 hours, their productive cycles are being spent on their cell phones. Now, is it all bad? Well, it is bad. This is not the ideal way. But understand the science. After the 14th, 15th, 16th year, especially the kids who are in 20s, now I don't want to call them kids, people, boys and girls who are in their 20s, they're using more senses to understand knowledge than scholars did in the old times. Well, not old, 50 years ago. So, you need to understand how knowledge works. Unless we raise the IQ of a Muslim child by 20 points, 20, more the better, but 20 is the barrier of entry. Barrier of entry means unless we hit that mark, we're not going to start the machine which is going to work. How do you raise an IQ of a nation by 20 points? Well, this formula is simple. You need to raise the standards of knowledge and the sets of knowledge and the variety of fields and funnels through which knowledge is gained. Simple. Now, YouTube is servicing most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So I'm not telling you to push your kids towards social media and YouTube. What I'm saying is they're already there. Harness it. Harness it. There are 2 big fights going on between the local masjid here in England and England. England is fighting with the thought process of the masjid, with the imam and the parent of the household. Understand that fight. What is that fight? Can anyone tell me what is the big fight? Yes. Oh, really? Oh, I thought, no. Yeah. Come here. I can't hear you. Come here. Come. No, let him come to me. Come to me. Sit down. What's your name? Just face the crowd. That's all right. How do you spell that name?
Sahram.
R-A. What's the last alphabet?
M.
What? M. Okay, M. Sharm. Okay, Sharm, how old are you? 9. At 9, you came so close to the answer. It's very impressive, man. So, what England believes versus what the masjid believes?
England believes that, like, Jesus and Antichrist, they made everything, but the masjid, they believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everything. They made us, they even made the building of the masjid possible.
Who's they? Who made the masjid?
Allah.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. Sharm at 9. Now, so he recognizes at 9 that there is a big difference between whatever the flavor of masjid is versus the flavor of England. It's simple. Ironically, a Muslim child believes the same sort of differential in Pakistan, what the masjid wants to stand for versus what Pakistan stands for. That's the power of the political system. Everybody can feel it, we just don't know how to translate it. He's not old enough to translate it. Otherwise, he's feeling it. He's feeling it in the frown of the imam. He's feeling it in the certain choice of words which are subliminal, sometimes very explicit. Well, you won't find too much of explicit rhetoric in the imam because he knows he needs to be in England. But the difference is there. The problem is there. A masla hai, you know what the bigger problem is? Sometimes England is right and the masjid is wrong. And your kids are going to prove it to you and you won't be able to come out of that argument. That is the problem I've seen in Pakistan as well. Sometimes America is right and the masjid in New York is wrong. And your kids are going to argue for America and they'll be right. Because the current definition of Islam, Umar ibn Khattab doesn't qualify on that definition. And America does. England does. Now that is a problem. I know what you're thinking right now. How dare you? Ye kya bol diya isne? See, we have suppressed the Muslim mind so much against the liberals and liberty that we've taken away the liberty of Islam as well. And that buffer, liberty, that England gives that liberty in that buffer, everybody gets confused. That's the problem I'm trying to solve. And if you don't solve that problem, this boy will inevitably have to say to himself alone in his own bedroom, because he's not going to be able to confess to you, that I have to leave Islam to progress in this planet. This is what the dissonance is going through. This is why you see atheistic kids in Islamic households. Stage 1, they're going to go quiet. I need that slide shifter, please. Can you go to the next slide? And the next? And the next? I'm going to come back to these. I just want to understand, make you guys understand what's going on. And the next, please. I really need the slide shifter. And the next. And go on, please. Next. And next. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. This is what the current definition of Islam is. Okay? We all know that. Now, your kids are going through YouTube. Aap is jagah pe na hote. You guys wouldn't have been here if you were not into the kind of scholars who are in YouTube or in your books. Otherwise, there's so many things going on in Bedford right now. Bradford, this session is only for those people who knows Mufti Menk, who know, Yasir Qadi, who knows Yasmin, what's her full name? They know the full name. You know the scholar, you know Dr. Israr, Farhat Hashmi, yes. Muhammad who? Yeah, I wouldn't know him, but yeah, I see, he does. So these people are giving you knowledge sets about Islam. Okay? And then England is giving knowledge sets about liberty. You need to understand that. But routines and rituals, that's what we're getting from Muslim scholarship right now. Routines and rituals. Give me one ritual in Islam. Salah is a ritual. Okay? Routine, azkar, these are routines. Then individual focus, which means tazkiyah. Cleanse yourself, understand where is wrong, what is wrong within yourself. This is individual focus. ये जो आपने सवाल किया था ना, वो 4 बंदों ने $100 बिलियन कहाँ से निकाले? वो 4 बंदों को आपस में एक दूसरे का नहीं पता. उनको बस $100 बिलियन का पता है और इसराइल पता है. काफी है. You understand me? That's how they align themselves. And I'll tell you, what is the legislator for them later. Personal belief. All of your scholars are going to give you personal belief. Awesome. They do a good job, by the way. I'm not speaking against them. They're doing an awesome job. What Farhat Hashmi has done for Muslim women, I do not see any other name in the whole of our planet Earth right now. You need to understand, somebody stepped up. She did what she could do. But what is she doing? What are all of these people doing? They're reinforcing these 3 pillars. Very, very good job. Amazing job done. So, this boy is going to learn personal belief, aqidah. He's going to understand salah. He's going to understand zakat. He's going to understand, dawat, tabligh. What else? Fasting and du'as. Awesome, man. Awesome. Good job, man. What else?
That is like the old hadith.
Yeah. So, where is the cutover? The cutover is very simple. The Sahabis, which Sahaba you know. Whoever you know, the Sahabas that you know, they were thought leaders of the planet at that time. That you know of. I mean, I know of some Sahabis who did not go into that realm, but that you know of, I know, they're only there in those books that you are reading because they were leading the thought. That's why you know them. The philosophy of Ali bin Abi Talib is still currently being taught in England in non-Muslim realms, non-Muslim universities and schools. And Ghazali. You can do a PhD on Ghazali in England. Because this guy was leading the thought. Now, whatever name that you're pumping on YouTube, they're not generating thought. You know what they're doing? They're reproducing the thought. Why? Because that is part of Islam. That is truly a part of Islam. Then, global change. Tell me one Muslim scholar even uses the word, let alone constructs the model around it. Or, you know what? Chode Muslim scholars go. Tell me, what part of Islam or Sira, what article of Islam is about global change? You know why Muslims don't know about this? Because they think it's nothing to do with Islam. Then, public policy. All the kids in this room and the kids that they'll have will be influenced directly, accumulatively, million times more than any Muslim scholar that they'll ever get to see on YouTube. Is going to be from the public policy realm. They're influencing directly your kids, my kids. That's why they're in public policy making. Whatever you're going through right now in Bradford, during your daily routines, professional routines, legal routines, are set by public policy makers. Simple. What are these? This is a course on this? Is there a degree? No. They're into politics. They're into influencing. They're into credibility, the game of credibility. They start writing articles when they were 14. in local newspapers, and then they go into the Time magazines, and then they go into writing policies of the United Nations. That's the trajectory. It's that simple. What has Islam got to do with this? No, in my mind, in your minds, Islam has nothing to do with it. You want me to name you Sahabas who wrote the public policy? That's the problem. We do not know our own Sahabas for their public policy making. Then, political reforms. Instead of treating the masjid as a small little parliament house of the neighborhood, we thought masjid was only for that 20-minute Jummah sermon, where the best that masjid is going to do is collect some money for the neighborhood. And that is, by the way, politics, collecting money to do something. But that's it. And who do your kids know in England? Who is calling the literal shots on whether halal food is going to be banned or not? What is HMC versus? What is the other thing? HFC. Yeah. What is this? This is political reforms. You know, in Denmark, you cannot eat halal food. You know that, right? You have to smuggle it. Did you know that? In Australia, you cannot eat any kind of HMC because every live animal has to get electrically stunned or electrocuted before it goes to any slaughterhouse. The animal is dead before the slaughter. Who wrote that policy? Somebody. You know, the Australian government didn't. Somebody in the government did. डेनमार्क में हलाल फूड बैन पता कब हुआ था? क्यों हुआ था? एक पाकिस्तानी ने गाय ज़बह करने की वीडियो रिलीज है. If you had seen the video, आप भी हलाल फूड बैन कर देते. That incompetent person did not know how to slaughter a cow. It took 20 minutes for him to slaughter that poor cow, and it was all over the place. Somebody in the public policy started, creating that little rhetoric, and, the government just banned it. That's how change is done. They're doing it really well. We are not training our kids for this. We are training our kids because हर low self-esteem के बंदे का, जान के उर्दू में आ गया हूँ मैं इधर. Every person with not enough of a less self-esteem developed creates an archetype of what? Who he wants to be. And none of you guys, none of us wanted to be better than King Charles. We always had that white guy who had a good job, or that white girl who had a good-looking body. Fitness, looks, or a guy with more cars, or that car, or that Lamborghini, or that whatever. We never even aspired to be the right white guy. That's the problem. Even if you wanted to be the white guy, I get it, because that's how self-esteem works. You could have chosen, Prince Harry or Williams. No, well, that's her name, right? Harry and Williams? Yeah. No. We don't play that game. We play the game of, our neighborhood, or the first guy who we ever met while we were in England. We were like, yeah, you know what, this guy. Or some boss in some company. That's why I said gyroscope ठीक करें. So this is what the religious mindset is being trained on. So your kid will be like, your child, literally your son or daughter will be like, ये वाला इस्लाम तो मैं किताब से भी ले लूंगा, इसके लिए मस्जिद की क्या जरूरत है? जो वो वाला इस्लाम है वो तो गोरा दे रहा है मुझे तो वो चाहिए, तो मेरी regular identity का तकाजा है. You know what, if we talk about Palestine and you cry, mommy, you cry in the bed, तहज्जुद में जान नमाजें गीली कर रही होती हैं आप फलस्तीन के लिए रोके, वो तो ऊपर से पूरी नहीं होती. Tell me, ऊपर से कौन सा फलस्तीन आजाद हो रहा है? Routines, rituals, अपना खोलना, तज़किया नफ्स करने से तो फलस्तीनियों कुछ नहीं होना. If you want to do something about Palestine, you got to do the bottom half. That's what everybody is doing for Israel in Canada, America, England, again England. They're doing that, and they're working for Israel. And they're doing a good job. By the way, Jewish competence on the industry is 10 times more than anybody else. Call a spade a spade. उनकी performance वाकई बेहतर है. उनके प्रोडक्ट निकलते हैं, मैं और आप दिल से खरीदते हैं, परफॉर्मेंस होती है उस प्रोडक्ट की. मुस्लिम whenever they produce any product, जो भी प्रोडक्ट बना ले मुसलमान, वो प्रोडक्ट ही फॉल्टी होता है. मुसलमान खुद ही नहीं खरीदते. हमारे तो वो जो बच्चों के कार्टून नहीं होते, वो भी फीके कलर्स के होते हैं, वो भी वीडियो रुक रही होती है उसमें. We go into cloth making, we ruin it. We go into shoe making, we ruin it. We go into car making. Well, we never went into car making. God forbid. You are never going to buy a washing machine which it says an eye to send. You're going to buy Philips. So they're doing it right. Don't say, oh, you know what, Yahudi sazish hai. Yahudi sazish nahi, Yahudi competence hai. Yahudi mindset. We had that. They learned it from us. I swear to God, she told us. She wrote it. You know who? The prime minister. Their prime minister. She's like, we're just doing whatever your prophet was doing. So I'm just telling you, the current definition of Islam that we get, that has divorced. Oh, can you come back, please? That has come back. That has divorced from the real things. Can you go back in the slides? Okay, you know what? Just stay there. Let me just finish this up. Just look at the left side of the slide. Just one slide. Can you go to the next slide? Just one more click. No, not the next. Really, my voice is not. Okay, listen. Go next. No, don't go back. One more. That's it. Look at the left. This is our English children's behavior right now. Procrastinating kids, lying around bums, doing nothing, especially 15, 18, 19-year-olds. Hell, I've been getting complaints from fathers of the households, never coming out of couches and beds. Mommy's waking up at 2 in the morning. 2 in the afternoon. Do you see those kind of signs going on in our households? Confused values. Child is actually, understanding value system more in outside Islamic realms than the masjid. By the way, this is not an adult Muslim when it comes to Pakistan, from Pakistan or India to England. He practices way more values of Islam in England than in Pakistan or India. He goes to the elevator, he stops the elevator for everybody to come in. He helps whenever he sees somebody who needs help. He runs towards them. In Pakistan or India, that same guy is not going to do that. That's called the herd effect, the herd psychology. So what happens is he goes into extreme behaviors inside his own household. Your children are going to do that. Totally do different extreme behaviors. Spurs and jitters behaviors. Every, novice psychologist is going to tell you that. You know what? There's a dissonance between the way you're setting your values and the way he's actually getting the values. He actually is disqualifying you as a father, you as a mother, she or he, your child is disqualifying you as a person of values. He's getting better values from somewhere else. And we call it, oh, bacha teenager, hormonal pressures, he's so grumpy and, No, he's not. He just knows you're a hypocrite. He just thinks, you know what, you just, all talk, no action. And he's looking at all the action going on. This is classic cognitive dissonance, inconsistent morality. This is something which every Muslim is practicing in overseas. In Muslim-dominated lands, there is no morality. Here, you are way more moral. Actually, you are the only moral Muslims which are in America, England, or wherever. Scandinavia, especially Scandinavian Muslims. Awesome examples, especially Norwegians. Amazing. How did you get to be there? Well, you pick and choose. That's the problem. But you got to some level. But you are picking and choosing morality. Why? Because look at the right side. Islam is not even giving you those windows where you're going to actually apply those moral standards. Because those moral standards are on the group. The current definition of Islam is for the man or the woman, individual. Now, sir, can you go back on I'll tell you when to stop. Just keep going. Go. I'll tell you when to stop. This picture is bothering me. This is not supposed to be a square in the middle. Go on, go on, go on. One more, one more. Yes, there you go, boss. That's it. That's it. Thank you, thank you. Now, now you can see this is where the landscape is. Every Muslim scholar that you're going to listen to, every non-Muslim scholar, which of course is going to be the subject expert of whatever subject they're listening to, could be anybody from Noam Chomsky to Finkelstein to whatever the affairs are going on right now. Kids go through that YouTube pump. YouTube presents those videos based on the kind of videos that your child or you yourself have already subscribed to. And then you see two different kinds of knowledge sets coming in. This is how the Muslim mindset actually splits into three different types. One is classic liberal Muslim. He knows that, I was not even pushed towards Islam. I mean, they gave me the kalima, they gave me the general concept of Islam, and they were very emotional about it. My Pakistani parents are very emotional, and they're going to kill, for Islam. But they're not going to let me practice, make me. फजर पे उठाते हुए एक खातून को केस स्टडी के अंदर मतलब मेरे पास एक हस्बैंड आए हुए अपनी बेगम की कहानी सुना रहे हैं. इमेजिन कि मैंने अपने बच्चे को फजर के लिए उठाया तो मेरी बेगम ने डिवोर्स मांग ली कि तू जालिम आदमी, सोते हुए बच्चे पे तुझे रहम नहीं आया. She was so into my child. Oh, बेचारा सो रहा है मेरा बच्चा. What kind of lack of empathy this man has. And I said, what, did you slap him to wake up? And I said, no, I was just shaking him up. It's like just, So I know there are some sort of, household, but I'm not talking about those kind of people don't make it to these kind of sessions. You guys have to understand the mindset of those, people who want to believe that they're Muslims, but they're so on the edge of the realm that they just think that this is extreme and radical behavior to talk about Islam as a global catalyst. It's radical. You're an Islamist. You're just not using the word jihad. Otherwise, you're doing everything. You want to put power into Islam and, connect everybody and create a platform, and you want to make global change. No, I just want a Ferrari and a big house in some northern valley of France. That's it. That's all a man should do. And or whatever you want to get as basic necessities or luxury. That's your classic mindset. They actually centralize themselves as people who want to make a policy based on human rights, people who think they can get knowledge from whoever and wherever, and they mix and match all the knowledge sets and they create their own versions. Good enough? The best part is they're not in majority. And then there's the other extreme. The classic Musliman, you're going to see them in clusters in England as well. You're going to see them in clusters in Pakistan. They're not in majority as well. Clusters. You can see them in Tablighi Jamaat. You can see them in, what else do we got there? Farhat Hashmi groups, because that's not Tablighi Jamaat. The women, they're conservative Muslims. They love Islam. They want to practice whatever they can of Islam. They never miss a namaz. They never miss a roza. I mean, there's no way they're going to miss a roza. They are, trying to look for opportunities to pay for Palestine or whatever they can. They are your classic, go-getters. They're doers. They want to do whatever they can. They're your classic conservatives. They are hijabis. They're, long-bearded. They're doing whatever they can. This is your two extremes. I hope you can see them in England and you can see them right now in your minds. And then there's this new age Muslim who has been bred in overseas Western civilization. He understands the global change. He understands the politics. He understands the catalyst as well. But he's not convinced. He is just not convinced because he's not getting the answers from his folks. He's in half and half. He knows that, Islam has a structure of, whatever these 5 pillars, and they actually are a 5-pillar, really, they're really good in 5 pillars. They understand it, but they miss out on their prayers. He knows what he should do. He's just not doing it really well. And, he got good enough a company, he's going to practice Islam. If he doesn't, he's going to be the way, the group is, whatever his friends is or colleagues are. He's not going to be killing for halal food. He'll be like, okay, it's all right, man. Majboori thi. Dil mein Islam hona chahiye. ओके मैंने साल में एक दफ़ा ही हराम खाया, कोई बात नहीं, जान पे नौबत आए तो सूअर भी खाना अलाउ है, तो खैर है, मैं तो स्कॉटलैंड आया हूँ. He comes out with these sort of gimmickry. But when you put him into a Muslim household or Muslim group, he's not going to have any problem practicing Islam. He'll be like, okay, yeah, good enough. I'm going to be here, there as well. That's your half and half. The problem is all of these three are nobodies. Nobodies. You know what? They have divorced the power, whatever they can get or whatever Islam has to offer, they've divorced it. They can be in power, especially this lot. This lot can be in power, but they'll never think it's an Islamic power or Islam has anything to do with it. You're going to see these people in politics as well, sometimes even premiers. In some countries, very close. Some people even came from that country here. You're going to see them in the parliaments of England as well. You're going to see a lot of these people, but they'll be like, you know what, that's a job. ये मेरी नौकरी है. मैं नमाजें पढ़ रहा हूँ काफी, यहाँ पे आके मैं इस्लाम नहीं प्रैक्टिस करूंगा. I'm going to practice Islam in the masjid. I'm going to just practice England or Scotland or wherever I am, or even America, Toronto ka mayor, well, not Toronto, I'm just, could be mayor of Toronto, but he's going to be a very English law, Canadian law, American law, Australian law abiding citizen, awesome job, and he's going to be enforcing a lot of public policy based on that law. That's why Muslims riled against Hamza Yusuf in Scotland, that, you know what, all hunky-dory, buddy, but you went for the LGBT? Why? Who's from Scotland here? That's the one sentiment everyone's facing against Hamza, eh? But he doesn't know any better. This is the problem. He was taught Islam by that lot over YouTube or a book.
Don't you think if living in a democratic country, he will be deciding with the people's majority verdict, not himself? And being himself, if he's the Prime Minister of Scotland, he has very limited power.
That's what I'm saying. He believes he's got limited power as a Muslim. He believes that.
He's not a Muslim, he's a Scotch Prime Minister.
Those two can be together at the same time. A Muslim can be a Scotland's premier, eh? Or American Barack Obama. He is a Muslim and the American president at the same time. अफ्तारी भी कराता है मुसलमानों को. No. See, that was not something to do with Islam when it came down to Obama. That has nothing to do with Islam. That has everything to do with America. And in his books, I'm telling you this, Islam is an Islamish or Islamically correct thing to do to follow the Constitution of America, even if it has to come at a price of 1 million Iraqis, kids. That's why Allah says, you know what? You have to choose. You cannot be both at the same time. Now, can you understand this word secularism there? That's the problem. These 3 babies are given birth by single mother. That mother does not exist in Islam. We put it there ourselves. This mommy exists in the Bible, not the Quran. This word secularism, what is secularism? Anyone can define what secularism is? Yes, sir. When the state decides what religion is. No. Well, the state usually decides there should be no religion. Aiza? Yeah. Atheist. No. Atheist is atheist. Atheist is a matter of belief in the deity or not. He doesn't believe in theism, which means no God. That's atheism. We are theists. Okay? That dude would be atheist. Okay? Like political, apolitical, biogenesis, abiogenesis, theism, atheism. Yes. Who's really neutral about religion? They don't have any idea what religion is? Okay. No. Good. Acha ho gaya na, baat ho gayi. It's a good thing. I thought you would know. I'm going to have to listen to the Scots. Because they told me that, go a little in detail. Yes, sir. No. No, बाकी सब लोगों को accept नहीं करेगा. Yes. No, but state could have a religion in secularism as well. Secular states do have religion. Okay, I'll tell you what. Oh. Okay, secularism is a standard of political structure where the state will not interfere, okay, as a religious police. Okay, so the matters of the state will have nothing to do with the religious doctrine, and the matter of the religious doctrine will not be dictated by the state. So masjid or the church will act independently as moral, divine custodians of the books, whatever the book is, and state will divorce all or be devout of the religious or divine literature. So what is to state unto the state, and what is to the church unto the church. Where did I quote you this ayah from? The Bible. Who quoted it? Matthew. Who's Matthew? Who's Matthew? Come on, England. England. Matthew was the disciple of Isa ibn Maryam, supposedly, who was actually the tax collector of his time. The only time Isa ibn Maryam talks about money in the Bible is through the words of Matthew. Only one time, and that's Matthew 22. Otherwise, Isa ibn Maryam never, ever said that. So, when the Bible came up with this verse, it was used really well. I'm not going to go into that detail. That is secularism. Leave what is to the state unto the state. Leave what is to Nawaz Sharif, Imran Khan. Leave what is to Barack Obama or Donald Trump unto, them. And what is to the church unto the church. So they're not going to interfere in religious matters, and religion is not going to interfere with the state matters. That's seclusion of these two entities. You know what seclusion is, right? Seclusion means separation, in isolation. So religion is going to run in isolation, and state is going to run in isolation of the religion. So secular is when you believe that state can or cannot make any policy which is religious or not religious. That's secularism. Why am I talking about this here? Because it takes a really deep level, liberal mindset, even if it's a Muslim mindset, to believe in secularism and Islam at the same time. And hence, you can see all the Muslims alive right now, all of them, okay, which you know of, who are in public policy making or speaking or influencing, they're all classic seculars. That's why, can you go back to that slide? Yeah, this one. This slide is secularism. You have taken away the power from the man. This is the power. This is all state affairs now, and that's religious affairs. That's your classic Muslim. So when you ask, and I'm going to edit that in the video, it's a closed thing, don't worry. When you ask Mufti Menk, why was he sitting with the Israeli in the Gulf, in that, whatever dinner that they had hosted, he said, listen to me, do not involve me in politics. Politics is not my business. I'm a Muslim cleric. That's the exact words. When somebody asked Yasser Qazi and, all of those people, why did they go into the LGBT parade? What's his name? No, Numan Khan. Omar Salman, yeah. So he said, well, listen, political matters are to be dealt by the state. We are Muslim clergy. We're supposed to give the dawah of love and inclusion, forgiveness. You get that? I'm not worried about what they're doing. They can do whatever they want. I'm worried about how they're justifying it. Because they are actually believers of the fact that they are two different powers. One is the one who's going to run the state. One is the one who's going to run the man. And that's what All Christian seculars believe. You ask any Christian, philosopher, theologian, evangelical or, non-religious, atheistic flavored Christian. You ask them, what is the best thing about Christianity? Well, leave it is to Caesar unto Caesar, and what is the church unto the church. They give the liberty to the state to be whatever they can, to do whatever they can. So how does the state decide what is right and wrong? How does the state decide whether to bomb Palestine or not? I'll tell you, in Islam, yes, that's the golden question. Okay, I need the control in my hand then. The divide happened. Go. I'll tell you when to stop. Go on. Keep going.
I think
The slide.
that particular point, the Allama Iqbal said, "Juda ho deen siyasat se to reh jati hai Changeziya."
Yeah.
He said the structure and the criteria for Islamic state and for Muslim as well. And this is what everybody is missing. They are separating the state affairs from the religious affairs, and that is.
No, sir. No, this is not. नहीं, मैं आपको नहीं कह रहा हूँ. आपका सवाल मेरे तक पहुँच चुका है. Sir, I'm sorry. What's your name? I need a lot more. You and I cannot play this because I keep shifting through slides to make a point, and it's not your fault, of course. You don't know what slide I want. Listen, forget the slides. Yeah, forget the slides. Let me just. No. I'll just have to tune myself out of this slide deck. The number one question is, why is all of Muslim scholarship right now practicing a secular Islam? That's it. Now, the first thing is condition is whether they are secular. Yes, of course. You will never see a Muslim state right now where Muslim scholars are running the shots on the state. Name one. There's none. There's none. Which one?
Do you think the concept of Jinnah, Mr. Jinnah?
I'll come with Jinnah. Don't worry. I'll come to Jinnah. Don't worry. What I'm saying is first understand the mindset. And I'll tell you why, how to use that. Because you're not in Pakistan or India or Palestine. You're in England. Your kids, I need to understand. You need to understand this could be harnessed. I can harness your children. You can. Okay. What's his name, sir? I need go to the last slide. I'll tell you. Birmingham, please get me the controller, okay? Birmingham, I need a controller. Go on, sir. Go. Keep rolling. That's it. Awesome. That's it. This is it. This is why I came here. Okay, just read this slide while I talk, okay? Whoever asked me, how did Islam, current version of Islam, happen to be so secular? Well, it is secular. It happened about 1200 years ago, okay? Before that, all the Muslims that you know of were in or around the office, calling the shots on policy. Okay? If Islam was not about power and policy making, then you have to delete Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar Khattab, Uthman bin Affan, Ali bin Abi Talib, Hussein bin Ali. This is the first 30 years. You cannot divorce them out of Islam. That is all Islam. From Abu Bakr Siddiq to Ali bin Abi Talib. Add the 6 months of Hussein bin Ali, because that's the time that Prophet ﷺ said the hadith. Now, at the time when Yazid bin Muawiyah took over, all of Islamic definitions changed. Before that and after that, there are two different versions of Islam. And I always take Umar ibn Khattab as the central custodian of how to run a machine, because he ran it so well that most of the world right now know Islam, which is the Khattabi Islam. The way he put the policy in, the way he managed the policy, and all of that. Okay. So when you have to ask this question, you have to go back. So right now, you can ask any mufti right now of this little proposition that I'm giving, that should we take the power? I'm not talking about Muslim lands, I'm talking about globally. They're going to say, like, you can't even take it from Muslim lands, buddy. That's called khuruj. And I'm like, I'm not. So Whoever is the king will remain the king, and his son is going to be the king. And Nawaz Sharif is going to give birth to Maryam Nawaz Sharif, and she's going to give birth to whatever Nawaz Sharif, and then another Nawaz Sharif. And we cannot do anything about it. Yeah, it's going to be, you're a Kharji then. You understand me? That's how bad the situation is right now. I can't go against the Pakistan army. You know why? The Muslim clerics are going to be like, you Kharji, you Jannum ke kutte. Literally, I keep getting that little word because I am getting the Muslim Pakistani to say, oh, listen to me. Use the politics, man. Come into power, come into competence first. They're going to actually know your credibility through this. And I am known as the biggest Kharji in Pakistan because I am getting the youth to come into power through Islam. And you know who's against me? Not the army. They called me in twice. Sat me down, gave me like, not even once they used the word Kharji. You know what they said? यार इतना अच्छा बोलते हो, इतना तुम्हारा अफेक्ट है और असली काम का बंदा तुम्हें सुन रहा है और तुम इस वक्त क्या कर रहे हो, किधर लेके जा रहे हो उनको? That's the crux of the lecture. और जब उलमा मुझे बुलाते हैं, you know what they say? तुम्हें पता है इस्लाम में इस चीज की इजाजत नहीं जो तुम कर रहे हो. इस्लाम में इसको खुरूज कहते. हमें हुक्म है कि हम इसकी तबाह करें. किसकी? चीफ की. लिटरली चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ की. एंड सर आपको अल्लाह ने हुक्म दिया है कि हाफिज साहब की तबाह करो. You think I want to believe that? This is ulul amr for you. Yeah, this is ulul amr. और ulul amr की तबाह करनी इस्लाम में मस्ट है. This is what's going on. That's why the masjid is quiet in Pakistan. Now you know. That's what I'm saying, the current definition of Islam. More than 20,000 masjids in the most populated area of the planet. That's the mobility I could have used. Not even a single element of violence in there. I'm talking about politics, the power of motion. No, they're not going to let me do that. Who's not? The Maulvi is not going to let me do that. Ulama, Deobandis call me Kharji. Ahl Hadith have called me Kharji. And imagine the Barelvis have called me Kharji. So I only ask one question, buddy. If this is Khuruj, then Hussein bin Ali is also a Kharji. No, they don't have the answer to this question. Now, he didn't fight. No, listen, he was already in power. He was already in power. Listen, I'm talking about Khuruj. You know what Khuruj is? Khuruj is when a guy who's not in power goes against a man of the state which is in power. But he was the first, he was Khalifa before Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. No, I don't understand your accent, but listen. Hassan bin Ali is Khalifa before Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. But Hussein never made it to Khalifa. Yeah. So a Khalifa cannot do Khuruj. He's already a Khalifa. Somebody going against Hassan would be Kharji, not... Yeah. So Hussein actually went against the power. Say what now? Right? No, Hussein al-Islam is in the... I didn't get that word. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, I want to understand you. Hussein al-Islam going against Yazid is Khuruj based on the current definition. You know that, right? That's the case. That's the case. Hussein al-Islam never went against Muawiyah radiallahu anhu.
Because the Khilafah wasn't established at that time.
What? No, it was. He ruled for 10 years.
But the Bay'ah wasn't complete, was it?
It was complete, don't worry. Even if Bay'ah is not complete, doesn't matter. Hussein al-Islam going against Yazid is technical Khuruj in Islam, in the current definition of Islam. Okay? So either Hussein is right or the current definition of Islam is right. And I believe Hussein is right. Okay? I believe that. Because he didn't pick up the sword, he picked up what? What did he do? What was Hussein al-Islam doing?
Hussein radiallahu, before, because it's to do with Islam. So the bay'ah was taking place, right? So Hussein radiallahu anhu didn't want to give bay'ah to Yazid because of his actions and the evil laws that he was taking.
So everybody else did.
So he disagreed with bay'ah.
Yeah, but he disagreed with the Khalifa.
What's that, right?
Yazid is the Khalifa. He remained the Khalifa.
So he forced himself to be Khalifa all the
Well, he managed to fool every other Sahabi.
You calling him Khalifa doesn't become a Khalifa by just calling him a Khalifa.
Not me. Abdullah bin Abbas called him Khalifa.
No, Islam has to agree on it. Obviously,
All the Sahabas agreed, man. He ruled for many years. All the Sahabas gave bay'ah to Yazid.
no, the Islam stands in its own thought, doesn't it? It doesn't have to stand with Yazid or it doesn't have to stand with all the Sahabas. Islam
I do not know your heart of your question, but we all know Yazid ruled the Islamic world, right?
ruling is different. Anyone could rule. Jinnah ruled Pakistan like they used to say, innit?
But
More secular.
Abdullah bin Abbas and Abdullah bin Umar didn't give bay'ah to Jinnah, na? They gave bay'ah to Yazid.
Well, people give bear to Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan.
But people are not Abdullah bin Umar or Abdullah bin Abbas, eh? That's the difference.
What's that?
You're talking about big Sahabas here, okay?
You want to ask? You want to take over? I'm the right to go.
Listen, you're mixing regular Joes with Sahabas who gave bay'ah. And Yazid is a real Khalifa. Whether we want it, like it or not, he is the Khalifa.
No, he's not. How can he be Khalifa?
Okay, who was the Khalifa in the time of Yazid? Who was the Khalifa?
Hussein didn't accept him. And obviously
Okay,
Hussein
okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question, sir.
I stand with Hussein.
I get it. I'm going to ask you simple. At the time of Yazid, who do you think is not the Khalifa? Who is the Khalifa?
Hussein radiallahu anhu.
Well, he died. Who is the Khalifa now?
He didn't die. She doesn't die really today. So
Are you for real,
at that
man?
time, the leadership role was given to Yazid, wasn't it?
Everybody gets what my point is? Yeah. Okay. So everybody got it. So the question is simple. Now, I'm not talking about here about Hussein. I'm talking about your kids. You know what? He established a certain center. Nabi alayhi salam, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he was in Makkah, he did the exact same thing. And we got to do the same thing. What did Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam do when he was in the plight that Muslims are in right now? In Makkah, what did he do? He did what? Hijrah. No, before Hijrah, he did something. Hijrah happened because he took a very clear step. Come on, Muslims. That's what I'm trying to get you at. If you can get that, you will know why I need your daughters and your sons. You will know why you need Canadian daughters and sons. You will know exactly the value of American kids in their early teens right now. No, he couldn't. No, there was nobody in Medina at that time. I mean, Muslims. Something else happened here. Come on. Who is the top Sahabi? Who are the group of Sahabas which are the top ranked? The people who did something. What are those people? No. Come on. People who fought Badr are the top of the Sahabis, right? But people who did something else are way better than Badr. Who are those? Okay, you don't know. It's all right. I'll tell you. We're running out of time. People of Uqba are the number one Sahabas. The Badris don't even come close. That is how high ranked a Muslim is. I'll tell you the ranking in Islam, okay? Very clear ranking, okay? It's precedented. It's by the Prophet ﷺ. One time, a Sahabi was committing treason in Islam. He was telling or leaking information of the Prophet ﷺ to the kuffar. Literally, he was caught. I'm not going to go into that detail. Read about him. Hatib, that's his name, okay? And Ali bin Abi Talib was sent, go get that information and that, whatever. And he was caught red-handed. And he had an excuse. He said, listen, you guys are very influential. And Allah knows that my family is not. They're going to butcher my family. So I had to do something to save my family. It is not about, because Allah is going to give you victory. I believe so much that I know Allah is going to give you victory. But I need you to save my family. And the Prophet ﷺ did not accept his justification. He said, no, you have to sacrifice your family for Allah and His Prophet. But, Umar Khattab said, oh Prophet, give me just a cue. Give me a hint, and I'm going to slit his throat. Because this is treason. against Allah and the Prophet. The Prophet said, let him go, for he is a Badri. Let him go. He participated in Badr. And all the Badris, God knows what kind of sin has been forgiven. So I'm not going to be able to do the math. That's how high Badr is. The biggest possible crime. And this man was let go because he performed in Badr. And the Badri Sahabis, Badr is, by the way, a fight. Okay? Aiza, it's a battle, the first battle. Have you heard the word Badr? Really? Okay. That's like the top of the top. And Badri Sahabis are not even compared by the Sahabas, by the Uqabi Sahabis. You know what Uqba? Uqba is a place. Okay, it's close to Makkah. Okay. Uqba happened when 11 people came by a certain technique that Hamza, radiallahu anhu, the uncle of the Prophet, he connected a few people, connected. There were some missions going on between two different Sahabas and those tribal leaders of Aus and Khazraj. And they convinced, they presented, they were so eloquent that those 11 people accepted Islam. And they said, you know what? You can't just accept Islam, man. This is not a Sufi yogi version of Islam. We got to do a lot of things. You got to pay up, man. You got to pay up. And those 11 people in Medina said, what do you want from us? He said, we want your power. We want your authority. We want your influence. Because you are the most powerful in Medina. But you cannot even tell anyone that you converted to Islam. This is what happened in Uqba. So all of these 11 people were brought in to Prophet ﷺ, and Prophet ﷺ said, do you give your bayah and allegiance to me? And then you will have to give everything that you have to me, literally. And they said, we do. We're going to give everything to you. All of Medina is your property now. Literally, it's like, take it. They were the owners of Medina, literally. They were the leaders of Aus and Khazraj, and Medina was ruled by them. Keep looking at this slide when I keep narrating to you how your kids are supposed to perform. This is the Sunnah and the Seerah. This is the vertex at which Islam and the current version of Islam and the real duty of Islam is coming to present to your kids. You need to understand how Muslims got Medina. Muslim did not send missionary missions of Dawat or Tabligh and top-down approach. Everyone's going to convert. And then, Medina's going to... They do not have enough time. Nor was this the preferred technique. So Uqba happened, and Uqbi Sahabis came in, and they said, we're going to take you as we take our daughter. Because they protect their daughters more than they protect their sons. That's the exact word they used. Well, he didn't use it. Hamza, radiallahu anhu, said, are you going to protect my son, which is, of course, his nephew, like you protect your women? Because they would die for their women. They would give everything because that's their daughters and wives. They said, yes. Now look at the rank. People who give their lives in Badr, lower. People who gave power and establishment to Islam, higher. People who were politicians, higher. Okay? People who were resourceful, higher. Right time, right people, right place. Now, sir, can you go to the last slides? Okay? This is what I want. I'm going to come back to this slide, okay? Can you go far forward? Forward. No, slower. Here, this is how it happened. Think of Uqba. Okay? Bayt Uqba. Okay? Think of whatever happened to Medina after the Prophet ﷺ came in. How they, from Medina, took back Makkah. And then from Makkah and Medina, they took over the world. And how Umar ibn Khattab ruled the 85% inhabitant planet. Think about that, and now look at this. So take it one by one. I'm going to keep telling you next. Okay? I'm going to keep telling you. Thank you. Just one. Yes, here you go. This is real numbers. This is real numbers right now, while your kids were born. While Isa is looking at me. She's 13. She's in England. She was from Pakistan. Think Bayt Uqba. Think mindset. Think the demand I'm presenting to you right now. This is real numbers. Look at the population. Look at the clusters. Look at England. You see 292,000 English. Next. By the way, this is a testament to a success story. This is how success is done. This is how work is done. By the way, this is a sunnah. This is the population. Only Australia, only America. Rest I don't even want to name, don't even want to count. Micronesia, and this is, by the way, the most wretched bichari country. These countries don't even want to name. That's Japan, by the way. That's Australia. Okay, and that's Laos. Now, these blue things are the only political hubs of Israel. Other than that, everybody hates them, wants them dead. This is, imagine what if Pakistan was going through this. This is it. The gray is neutral, green, finish them right now. Blue, we want to work for them. This, think Bate Uqba. Think the 4 pillars I'm telling you. Think of your children. One more slicer. Actually, you know what? Go forward. I want to show you one more. Next. Yes, one more. I'm just going to the end for a reason. One more. Here you go. This slide. This is the political situation. More like Pakistan situation. But no, this is what they're playing at. This is what the cards were dealt to a regular Jewish man and a woman. These blue lines are pro and yellow lines are totally against. Pick a country. You'll find out what their political worth currently would have been. Look at this. Everyone against. Real surveys, real polls. This is Pakistan, by the way. This is the PTI people. Yeah, well, pro-Israel sentiment went up in the PTI time, right? Doesn't matter. What matters is look at the yellow lines. You pick a country, think. Now come back, sir. This is what their situation is. This is how they started. That's how Uqba is done. That's how Kufa is done. That's how power is done. This is one slide of, how many? 329. 329 slides worth of just names. Of what? Little clusters. This is little clusters of how? People coming together. Sharing resources. This slide. Sharing resources. Building together. One by one. Same people couldn't even cross your streets of Bradford when you would not migrate here. They couldn't cross the street, this street. Some Christians was going to butcher them. They couldn't cross these very streets. They built it up with competence, real work.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
This is our venue.
Yes, sir.
This is a church. We're Christians. We all respect each other.
Yes, sir.
It's very hard for us to hear you saying things
Saying what?
that are uncharitable. So I hope to finish soon.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, otherwise you wouldn't have said that. No, I think you should. You think you should listen? Because you're listening to half of what I'm saying. This is very uncharitable of you to just... Are you my slide shifter? You're not listening to what I'm saying here?
Your slide shifter is not the one that came up and spoke to you. That's the
event
manager.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to pay a testament. You understand? This is exactly why, differences actually appear and they go through the fractures of two different people. If you could have taken negative things out of this slide or this session, then I swear to you, I have no hope from England. Sir, are you listening to what I'm saying right now? You cause so much negativity in all of these people by just, taking your own impression of stuff that you didn't even get to listen to. You should have been clapping for these slides. वो तो ठीक है सर, टाइम तो मैं खत्म करता हूँ अच्छी तरह. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem. This is why, sentiments fly around with half-cooked emotions based on just ignorance, nothing else. This is how competence is done. This is how structures are made. By the way, read your history. You need to understand how these people fought against this anti-Semite nation. And they worked together, came into competent structures. This slide is just one of how many? 329. That's what I want you guys to do. Work, connect, and become competent. If you're not performing on the real standards of knowledge, sorry. You are your own enemies. One more slide, sir. How much time? 5 minutes over? No, go back, please. Go back. Here you go. This is the Fields Medal. What do you think? Is nepotism going on? You think somebody comes together and say, you know what, we got to award the certain people? No. They're actually working towards mathematics. You know what Fields Medal is? What is a Fields Medal? Fields Medal is the Nobel Prize for mathematics. You know how many Muslims have gotten the Fields Medal? 0. You know why? We do not know mathematics. We don't gain the knowledge. One slide back, sir. One slide back. One more. Look at this. Out of the Nobel Prize, 22% go to a 5 million population. You know why? They had a single purpose, competence ka pillar. They needed to become competent. This is not a game. This is real life, real standards of knowledge. मैंने आपसे कहा ना परफॉर्मेंस है. परफॉर्मेंस क्यों है? पर्पस था. पर्पस क्या? सब ने इकट्ठा होना वरना मारे जाएंगे. वरना गए. We are done if we play solo. We become individually focused. We're done. You think this is a fluke? 22% of Nobel Prize go to by fluke. एक खास किस्म की नस्ल को देने ही देने हमने. Big problem. On Muslim, one more slide, please, sir. You know what this is? This is not financial capital. This is political capital. This is it. सही जगह पे सही बंदा सही पर्पस के साथ एक पर्पस के साथ सब बंदे इकट्ठे हो रहे. Everyone had the same purpose. And we got to unite. We got to do something. We're going to have to construct a model. They did. That's it. All of the world combined versus one country. By the way, this is old stats after October. That's what I said. Right people coming in. Sir, one last thing. Did you go to that slide where the solution was there? This is how real change is done. This is how people come together. Single purpose, everyone for everybody. Here, you know what we're doing? We are looking at the same dollars and pounds, but किसी और को ना मिल जाए मुझे मिल जाए. बस that's it. या जिस तरीके से उसको मिला है मैंने भी खुद अपने लिए लेना है. This is what I want you to do. Critical thinking, से IQ बढ़वाएं, जो कि पाकिस्तानियों में एक काम है जो कभी भी नहीं करेंगे, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं सिखाएंगे। क्या मतलब होता है इस बात का? Why are you even asking me questions? बदतमीज आदमी, why did you ask me anything about why? Like, क्यों के सवाल क्यों कर रहा है? We're not going to think critically, we're not going to gain IQ. If he's not going to think critically, he's going to be a copy. He's going to be a photocopy, a Xerox copy of whatever I've been doing, and हमने अपनी छोटे-छोटे वर्जन नीचे पैदा कर लिए हैं. Someone's got to challenge the status quo. Someone's got to be Hussein. Political capital के ऊपर मैं ज़्यादा टनी फोर्स कर रहा क्योंकि वो समझा रही है. Mental capital में मैं फोर्स इसलिए कर रहा हूँ. England has done most of the work for you guys. They've given you the IQ, the platform, opened up the universities, opened up everything so that you can get that establishment of knowledge sets. Once you have that, you compare a English Pakistani right now versus a Pakistani right now. You'll find out the difference. Okay? 4 pillars, simple strategy, everybody coming together. From Melbourne to Milwaukee to Houston to Manchester. That's it. Any questions? For now. We have a hall time? Yeah. Okay. We are all in the same group. Please make sure I'll be a part of that group. We'll take questions from there on. Okay? Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you. No, God, no.